There you go.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Midwest Plainsman. And this is our second showing with our special guest that I invited to be a part of this series on horse rescue organizations. And I came across this organization. They premiered on Horse Plus and took part in their boot camp so that they can compete for a $15,000 grant check that will help their organization be able to grow, expand, and purchase equipment that they are in vital need of so that they can continue doing what they love as far as taking care of horses and basically giving that horse a voice. Essentially is what they're doing. And I want to welcome Diane and Alisha from Wild Horse Rescue Center down in Florida. And I want to thank the two of you for coming to join me this afternoon. Now, just as a disclaimer, we're not going to be giving away any spoilers as to what's happening on Horse Plus.
Right.
So you're just going to have to go and watch the videos over on Horse Plus so that you'll be able to find out more about what's going on with the boot camp. So, but we are going to be asking a few questions anyway. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Okay, so just to get things rolling here now, tell us more about Wild Horse Rescue Center and how you got started and what led up to your passion.
All righty. Well, I was born in the 60s, so by the 70s, I knew about the wild horses because the Free Roam and Grazing Act in 1971 was passed to save our American Mustangs. So I just always loved horses, and by 1975, I saw my first wild horse, and I just fell in love with the whole idea of getting a wild horse and gentling it up. But many years went by, and marriage and school and college and all that, and I didn't get my wild horse until I was like 29. And then I just fell in love with it. I just continued adopting, and then I started mentoring and helping people. And then around 2001, I started taking in my first rescues. So in 2001, I was taking in horses with huge people problems that people had created in them. And by 2001 to 2005, I traveled around America with the Wild Horse Mentors. So that really fueled my want to make changes for these horses. So I ended up developing a nonprofit. In 2007, became Wild Horse Rescue Center. So yes, I work with American Mustangs, the wild horses, predominantly. We do have other breeds that come in, but we also do try to stay true to helping the wild horses out there. So that program came around in 2007, and I was blessed with an international program in 2012. We were picked up by an organization that helps other organizations bring in paying volunteers to stay on site. So 2012, that program kicked off, and that's where I met Alisha, because she came to my program.
I came from Sweden, and I fell in love with the program and the horses, and I've been with them for quite a few years now, and I just love helping out with all the horses and all the animals we have here, and it's truly amazing when you can see the horses that come in wild and really stressed and anxious or abused, and see them become these tame and gentle souls.
Yep. So Alisha kept coming back and forth. So now she's vice president because She's actually becoming a U.S. citizen. She's part of this organization. She really has the heart to be part of this organization. You go a lot on faith and prayer and the greater of good, because we get in a lot of wreck stuff, things that are tough to fix, and it costs money to house them, fix them, medical things as well. And that leads us to, you seeing us on the Horse Plus on the Rescue Horse Heroes was really a great opportunity to be part of a great organization like that, and then also meet other organizations that are affiliated with them.
Well, when you found out that you were going to be participating in their boot camp, what was your initial reaction?
How are we both going to be gone for 9 days?
Yeah.
How are we both going to do this? Because we've always had one or the other here. Whether I took horses to the Black Hills Sanctuary in South Dakota or wherever my travels go, Alisha has been with me so many years that we always make sure one of us, with a ranch, right now we have 44 horses, but probably back then we probably had like 56 horses and 17 dogs. And, you want to make sure that all your babies are taken care of. So actually on that boot camp, Alisha got to stay the whole time. I flew up, flew back, flew back up, flew back.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I couldn't stay the whole 9 days. I had to come back and forth because somebody needed to be here. We give tours often. We have international people here. We have all these animals. So it's hard. And as you watch their series, you're going to see other people with the same thing. A lot of people that have a rescue, that started the rescue, like I started this rescue, that's your life's work. That's your heart and soul in this. So it's not like this is just a 9-to-5 job that I come to and then I clock out and leave. This is a way of life, living the rescue life.
Yep. I can agree there, because I mean, it's the same passion that Horse Plus has got. And I mean, they live it 24/7 practically, which I applaud them for doing. Now, I know that there are also other wild horse organizations out there. How many others do you work with?
Well, I know a lot of the wild horse organizations because of that wild horse boot camp thing that I did with Wild Horse Mentors. So I was able to meet people from Maine to Oregon to Texas to Ohio to Kansas, all over the United States. And so we don't really work a whole lot together, I guess, saying, it's not like I'm getting wild horses from Lifesavers or from Mustangs Happily Ever After out of Maine. We're aware of each other, but we don't generally organize together. Okay. Now, I just met for the first time just the other day, an organization, Katie from Oregon, and we're actually going to do some stuff together. And she Mustangs
to the Rescue.
Yep. Mustangs to the Rescue is her organization out of Oregon. And so we're actually going to work with her on some stuff. So, sadly, we're not all like united together, but a lot of the rescues are so busy with just taking care of the stuff. Like Horse Plus is lucky because they can have, they have a staff, a big staff. So they're able to have film crew, adoption person, caretakers and stuff like that. Alisha and I still are taking care of the horses, like feeding and haying. Now, we don't do as much cleaning because we are fortunate to have hired help and also volunteers. But there's a lot of animals to make sure all's good in the morning and taken care of it in the evening.
And that's a good thing. I was going to say, is the one other one I know that I follow is Salt River.
Okay, I've heard of them. I've never met them, nor have I gone out there to see their horses. I've seen them on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, they wind up following all the free range wild Mustangs that are, I believe, I want to say Colorado, New Mexico area, I think, is where they're at. If I remember right. But yeah, it's one of the other organizations I follow. But I'm getting to know a lot of different organizations and getting to know a lot of ranch owners and just with the work I do.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm glad that I'm able to do this and to be able to share information and especially allow people to get to know organizations such as yourself so that people know that you're there.
Right. If you come to Florida, we can give you a tour. We're in our education building. We have a map of the wild horses. We have the board behind us. It's kind of a history of some of the horses that have come through here. We have museum history stuff over there. We have a little education center on like parasites and teeth and the skeletal of a horse. We also have a reading program we do. So you kind of do quite a few things to keep yourself above water. You know, you got to bring funds in every which way.
Oh, yeah.
Our little education center, we give tours. We just did last Saturday Wild Horses, Wild Women, and Wine. So that's a nice event. We do that every first Saturday, and people come down to it, enjoy a glass of wine or two, and have a little foods and take a tour. So anything to bring in some funds. We're doing yoga tomorrow. We don't do it with the horses. The dogs will join the party of yoga, but they'll take a tour after the yoga, and we'll have some drinks and refreshments put out for them. Tomorrow's going to be cold, so we'll make sure we have a lot of hot chocolate.
Yes.
And
Oh,
hot cider and coffee, because I don't think anybody wants any cold drinks tomorrow. I think it's going to be like 54 or 60, but it's going to be sunny, so it'll be nice.
okay, I'll say it again. With it being 25 up here, I'll also just say, hush.
Yeah, look at it. We're all bundled up, man. It's cold out there.
Oh, yeah, you should have seen well, when I was doing outside work, and we had two guys up from Florida, up in this area, doing work, and this was getting to be about November, October, November, and temperatures were down into the 50s. All of us up here, we're still running around in short sleeve shirts. But those two boys went home. They bought winter gear and they bought a 4x4 truck. Came back up. I'm like, just go back home, guys. It's like,
well, you know, we're to the cold, and actually down here we are actually colder to the bones than out west, because I've been in Colorado and Oregon when it's been cold, and even in Colorado, you know, at 0, it doesn't feel like it does down here at like 30s. It's cold to the bone.
Oh yeah,
cold.
I know, because I had grandparents that lived in Oklawaha, just right south of Ocala, for years, and so we would go down there during Christmas break.
Okay, yep, that's just north of us a little bit. We were young, so when you come to Florida, you'll have to come visit us.
Most definitely, most definitely. Now, in your part of the country, what do you see being the most important part about what you're doing for the horses in need?
Trying to get the horses from going into the wrong hands. So Horse Plus deals a lot with the auctions because that's where they end up. So we try to either, if we can't take them in, we're going to try to network and help with people to find these horses a better home, not just give it away so quickly to anybody, because you have to be careful on that. Don't advertise them on Craigslist. Don't just free horse to anybody. Want to make sure that these horses go in the right hands, because they are an animal that people profit off of them. Sadly to say, they go to the auctions, and if anybody that watches Horse Plus, it's just devastating. You went to the auction with them, and it's just devastating the condition of the animals at the auction. Any humane owner would have put that horse down, not sent it to the auction in the condition that they end up there. You know, broken shoulders, founder through the feet, broken jaws, nose broke.
Over bones.
Yes, it's just horrible. But see, you know, if anybody can make money on something, sadly in this society, they'll make money on something. So we try to intervene from going to the the horses ending up in the auctions.
Yeah, I know. In fact, I mean, everything that I've wound up seeing through the eyes of Horse Plus when it comes to them going to the auction and doing the auction intake and seeing the conditions that these horses are in. And it's like, first, I mean, every time I see it, it's like I say to myself that there's got to be more regulations put in place to prevent these horses from winding up in the situation that they're in and being in the conditions that they're in when they should have been given the last act of kindness. And that's,
well, they should actually have, people that are law enforcement, and they should enforce that. When people bring them to the auction, you should be fined or arrested on the spot, and the horse should be humanely put down. But see, the bosses are allowing this. So it's allowing this behavior to do this. And sadly, these people don't care. They're not feeding the horses. They're not watering the horses. Florida used to have a lot of auctions back in the day. We're talking like back in the 90s and even maybe early 2000s. Used to have rinky-dinky auctions everywhere, just like where you see Horse Plus going to these rundown bad auction houses. But Florida's really cleaned that up. Only auctions I know of anymore are like nicer auctions like Ocala. They have high-end sales like down in Wellington or up in Ocala. You don't see these little rinky-dinky, bring your stuff that's terrible. Years ago, I went to one, and it was absolutely disgusting, the lack of care on the auction house as well, not just the people, because there was 16 Mustangs dropped off for an auction the day before. We got there the day of. There was no water, no hay in sight. These animals were all skinny, starving, nursing mothers, pregnant mares. It was just terrible. We went and found a hose. We found some buckets. We gave all those horses water. When those horses got bitted on, people in the stands are like, oh, look at how gross, how skinny those horses are. And I turned around and said, really? You think these horses chose to do this, right? These horses said, look, I want to starve myself and go to an auction. So we only saved 5 of those 16 horses that day. And it was very heartbreaking because chances are most of them did not end up in a good place.
right. And, it's organizations like yourselves and others that need to be doing more videos, just like what Horse Plus is doing, to bring awareness and to get people aware of what's going on and make and to hold these sale barns accountable.
Yes, they should. Absolutely. And that, it's just like the problem with the drugs in this country. Okay, you catch somebody with drugs on them and you put them in jail. You really got to stop the source. And that's the thing with the auction houses. They are the source. All these little horses are brought there from people that might collect them up or find them or get them free or whatever. And they bring them to the auction house to make, $500 on a horse that should have been put down. And so Horse Plus, a third of what they get is put down. They do the last act of kindness because it's not fair to that animal to travel all the way down to Mexico to be shoved around in a trailer in pain and then go to slaughter for your last. That's it. We're gonna make something out of your hide and your meat because there's hardly any real meat left to you, but we'll use your body anyhow. Yeah. It's just really heartbreaking. We're in an area that we don't see that here as much, and even thin horses here and there. Quite a few years ago, there was really a lot of starving, but Florida's a little bit tougher on some of its laws. I mean, the horse has to really be emaciated for them to step in, but they still will get to the owners. They'll tell them, you got to buy feed. We're going to monitor you. They'll give them a chance. And a lot of those owners then will step up because they don't want to be fined.
Right.
Get rid of the horse. The horse then will go. And at least that horse got out of that situation.
And that's good. I'm glad that they are doing that now.
Yeah.
So I know that you said that right now you've got like 40 some. Now, how many horses are you actually able to house at your facility? Because I know
We're
in the
over.
video you've got a fantastic facility.
Yeah, but we're over. I mean, I only have 42 acres. So it's not like I can put horses on every little ounce of land. So we have the lodging for the people that come here. We have a bunkhouse. We have the barn and its structures. We have a house on the property. So out of 42 acres, you probably have 32 acres of fields, basically. And then we have horses broke up into groups, and you can't just overgraze your field, otherwise you'll have no grass. So we are over the amount of horses. And when we were up into the 50s, 58, 60, I think we were 64 even at one time, it makes it tough because that's all hay and feeds. I mean, we go through a ton of hay. I have out there, I just bought our newest pony trailer of alfalfa. I want to say it's 193 strings. That was $8,760. Okay, that's ridiculous. That is completely ridiculous. Our hay is getting so expensive here in Florida. That's 40.
Oh, it's all over, really.
Yeah, you're right. Because even in Oregon, she was saying her hay is expensive in Oregon, where they can grow hay up in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, areas like that. Grow your alfalfas. Our grass hay comes from Florida or Georgia, and that's about $3,400 for a trailer load. But the alfalfa is richer in vitamins in that. So we feed grass hay, alfalfa hay, round rolled hay, which that price went from 55 and 45 back in 19 when we first moved here. We moved to where they make hay.
Yeah.
We now just paid 85, but I bought 40 rolls. Had I bought one roll, it would have cost me 95. Had I went to the store, it would have cost me 110 or 115.
Ouch.
Yes. So all of our hay has gone up, and we go through 7 rounds a week or more, depending on how the horses are eating it.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got a video here that we're going to be playing for everybody, and then we're going to be back for a little bit more. So let's check this out.
All righty.
Horses were a work tool at one time. They were used for wagons or ranch work, pulling a cart. They were not a companion pet. Today, they're more of a companion. Horses are like children. They cannot tell you what's wrong, but they're emotionally will do things. Talk to any horse person, and their horse has a personality for them. My name is Diane and and I created a wild horse rescue center. Hundreds of horses have come through here. We have 49 horses here right now, and we have 3 burros. I created this center out of a love for the Mustang horse. It was created 28 years ago out of personal love and working with Mustangs, and then I actually became a nonprofit in 2007. I found that a lot of people misunderstood the wild horses, and I found that a lot of the wild horses were a reflection of how they were treated, and that's why the people had such a hard time with them. They didn't respect the fact that that animal was just afraid and wild. So then they made the horse really afraid, and it was really hard for them to let that go. So I just respect them for what they are and take care of them and just give them a place to be.
I came here my first time in 2014 as a volunteer, and I was done with school. I've been working, and I decided that I wanted to do something, not just go out and travel the world. I wanted to help someone. Coming here and see everything in a different way and how you work with horses, I just fell in love with it. And I was going through depression before I came here, and I couldn't feel happiness, and that really changed during the time here. This place changed my soul and my life so much that I want to do the same for the people that are here.
I always try to do some way to get people in the community to know about us and to raise funds for the center. We are hay junkies here. I've been a hay junkie for many years. That's what most of my money goes to. So we actually have 3 events in April. We have this really cool event with Michael Gaskin. He is coming down here to do a 2-day clinic at our center. I met Michael last May, and he did a beautiful job with his Mustang at the Mustang Extreme Makeover. And then we also have Taylor McIntosh, and he's also another extreme makeover. I love to have these guys here and let them show me some of their techniques and ways they get the horses to do stuff. You can always learn a better way of working with horses or in any job. We are part of the ASPCA. They're doing this all over America. So on April 22nd, we are one of very many rescues, and it's called Save a Horse Day. And we are going to have our whole center opened up. People are come here free of charge. We'll have everything, activities going on. So when the people walk around, they can talk to the volunteers, and we just have the people from the neighborhood and from the community to come and see what we are offering here at our center. So that's an open house. So I hope you guys can attend.
I think everyone that feel like you want to make a change, either if it's for yourself or for horses or just for the world, to come here. You don't have to have horse experience. Anything you want to do, you can do, and it will change your life.
Now, I know that video was done back in 2017. Now, do you have, I mean, are you still doing the same events every year?
We do events as well. Maybe not the same. We haven't had any clinic events with Michael or Taylor. So we did like yoga, we do the wine, we do open house, we do a Christmas barn to barn ride, we do a Halloween event, but we haven't done any clinic events since we moved here. When we first moved here, we didn't have a riding arena. So we do have that built now, so we could host them. We are actually going to a clinic at the end of this month at somebody else's barn, and we may have that woman come here and do a clinic later in the year or next year after we meet her. I've been talking to her. So we can host clinics, but a lot of the stuff that we now are geared to, we're in the villages, we're in Sumter County. So we do a lot of day tours. People come down, like I had a family come and visit with their grandkids, and I have another lady that's here right now still. She visited today. So we do a lot of stuff like that. So yes, we still are doing whatever we need to do to bring in funds and money.
Okay, now I know that Tawny asked this question of everybody, but have you, or do you think that you have ever experienced compassion fatigue?
No, not at all. I see that with a lot of places. One place that posted all the time. Absolutely not. No, not at all. I don't look at the focus like with horrible people or this or that. We just bring them in and rehab them and help them,
Try to focus on the good instead of all the negative.
Yeah.
And there's no point in, thinking about how horrible this horse's life has been instead of focusing on how wonderful this horse's life can be.
Yep. So we're Patty positives here.
Yeah.
No Debbie.
Nice. Now, during boot camp, what would you say was your toughest challenge?
Finding the needle in the haystack.
Yeah, that was like so crazy, and it was hot, and the hay, and you were like all
sweating.
Yeah, and the dust of the hay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was the toughest challenge.
Yes.
I mean, her running wasn't tough for me. That was okay. But she did that challenge. It was good. I just was trying to encourage her of what she was forgetting or trying to look at the stuff. We couldn't say anything.
Right, but
The hay.
the needles.
Yes, in the hay. It took a long time too.
It took
almost 2 hours. I guess
least
I don't know.
more.
At least it took the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that was a tough.
When I was watching now, I'm like, I was like, that would have drove me nuts.
Yeah.
We found least amount of money. We had like
Yeah.
$500.
Well, you can see in the episode there, we're like, yeah, it's got to be another one with $5.
Yeah.
We were so
Yeah.
not like.
Yeah. We found the first one too.
Yeah.
You would think that we were like right on track.
Yeah,
but
no, it's slowed down.
it
We
took
just
us
found
forever.
very little money.
Now, let's see. Now, how many auctions do you regularly attend? And do you think that your time spent at Horse Plus has taught you even more about what you need to do to prepare yourselves?
Well, we don't go to any auctions because, like I said, here in Florida, unless you go to Ocala, there's an auction in Ocala, but some of those horses are going $30,000, $60,000, $10,000, $15,000.
Yeah,
So
those are nice.
those
horses.
are high-end
Yes.
auctions. There are no that I know of rinky-dinky. There's exotic auctions you hear about. You know, they're selling goats and chickens and zebras and stuff like that. But you don't have any. I don't know. I haven't been to a horse auction probably since the 90s here in Florida. So
Okay.
I'm not going to go to the Ocala auction
Because
you
that's
know.
a
We're
high-end
not looking-
auction. We don't
yeah, we're
look
not
to go
looking.
in and buy a horse for $10,000.
Now, we
Right.
get off of the Bureau of Land Management. I mean, we have a Mustang here from the Riverton Prison Program we bid on. I just adopted 3 horses from Devil's Garden, Devil Garden. They're coming into our center. One will remain in the center as my horse here for the center, and the other 2 we're going to rehabilitate and them out eventually. I mean, they'll stay here until they're totally tame, and then they adopt them out. But we don't go to the auctions. Like I said, we would have to go up into Georgia or Tennessee, or you guys were close to Alabama.
Yeah.
You would have to go to these states that don't have as good regulations, maybe. So I
Okay.
don't,
Well, yeah, that would definitely be a hike for you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, if we have to travel, like even them, you guys stayed overnight, and you were what, 2
Yeah.
hours away?
2 hours.
So they were only 2 hours away, but they still ended up having to get a hotel for all the people, and
Mhm.
go the next day and pick up the horses at the auction yard.
Right.
So it would be difficult for us to go and do something like that. I mean, we couldn't travel to Georgia, which Georgia's 4 hours just to the border line. So say you had to travel 6 hours away, stay the night, and then 6 hours back.
Yeah.
That's 2 days.
Yeah, that would not be conducive, I don't think.
Try to intervene so the horses don't end up going to auction, because actually there's people in like Tennessee and those states that come to Florida and pick up horses. So somebody's wanting to give away a horse, or they're selling it super cheap under really low price. There's people that actually come to Florida, go around picking up horses, and then take them to auction.
And we have no problem with, getting in horses. Diane gets phone calls all the time
Yeah,
with
almost-
horses that need, a home like now.
Yeah.
And so,
I was gonna say, do you wind up getting
looking
okay.
Sadly to say.
I was gonna say, do you wind up getting owner surrenders?
Ever since COVID hit in 2020, we probably are more than 3/4 are owner surrenders. I mean, it's just constant. A lot of people dying or severe health issues.
Yeah.
So there's 2 horses right now that may come in, but she's actually meeting with somebody this weekend and talking to a family that if she feels comfortable with, will take those horses. Otherwise, they were looking to come in. So, and there again, we'll network if we can with people. If we can find a home that's a good quality home, there's nothing wrong with that. It's better than a horse being bounced around.
Right. Let's see. Now, if you were to win the grant money, what plans have you made to make your facility better and build upon what you've started?
Well, we need that squeeze. We need the Bureau of Land Management squeeze that they actually had made for the Bureau of Land Management. So since 1970s, or I don't know when the squeeze was made, they didn't have it at first. So that squeeze is a mechanical squeeze that Horse Plus uses. So you rub it there, you hydraulically close it in, squeeze it with padded sides. It can tilt sideways to do the feet. You can sedate a horse in there. You can doctor a horse in there. And that's what we need. And they are $25,000 just for the squeeze. You probably have about another $10,000 with the concrete slab and the 220 that you need to have for it, and the lighting and this area to do that. So that's where our $15,000 would go into giving us a jump start on getting that.
Excellent. So now, let's see, what events or activities have you got coming up in the next couple months?
Okay, so we have yoga tomorrow. We have a clinic we're attending. We have a Native American powwow. Will be in February. We go for a 2-day event. We bring our Mustang and talk to people about the wild horses. We'll be going to an Earth Day the third week of February on a Saturday, and that'll be the same thing, just there for the day, talking to people about wild horses.
We'll probably do another wild horses.
Yeah, that's on the 4th. We've got that one. We've got one in March as well, the Wild Horses, Wild Women in Wine, and yoga in March. April, we'll be doing another wild powwow in Daytona, and that too will be with our Mustangs. And then in November, we'll be doing the Native American Rhythm Festival, and that's down in Melbourne, and that also is with Native American. So we do a lot of Native American festivals because the Mustang helped change the Native American people of North America with the horse coming back to America. The horse originated in North America and then left for some time and was reintroduced. Although there are tribes that say the horse never left in the northern part of North America, like Oregon, Washington, and up into Canada and all that area.
Okay. Well, you know, I am so happy that I've come to know the both of you and your organization, and I'm wishing you all the best down there. And eventually, yeah, I'm going to be traveling down that way to made a promise to myself to visit the old neighborhood down there, and so I would definitely be stopping in.
Well, good. We'll be here doing what we love doing every day and taking care of horses and trying to find them a new family and home. We do have a lot of return adopters, people that come back to get another horse. They do love our horses. So. And donkeys, guineas, ponies, horses.
Very cool. Be sure to go to their website, wildhorserescuecenter.org, where you'll be able to find out more about the organization, and you'll be able to, I believe, now you've also got something on there for people to donate directly to you. Yes. And they can get in contact with you directly at the website. Mm-hmm. And then also for everybody over on Facebook, you can follow them at Wild Horse Rescue Center over on Facebook. And I know that they'll be more than happy to have you following them and helping out with donations or volunteering even.
Yes. And networking with us, you know. Let's all work together. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's what it's all about. All right, ladies, I want to thank you for taking time out to come join me today. This has been a lot of fun getting to know you, and I look forward to helping out as much as I can on my end.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. We greatly appreciate being aired on your program. Thank you.
You are very welcome, and I'm wishing you all the best, all the luck, and let's hope that you have a good outcome.
All righty. Thank you. All righty.
All right, folks. If you have questions for me directly, you can contact me directly at the Midwest Plainsman at Gmail, or else you can contact me through Facebook under Earl Silverwolf Williams, and you'll be able to connect up with me there. Always appreciate input. ideas and other stuff going on in the Midwest that you would like me to cover. So with that, I'm going to say pleasant journeys, everyone, and have a great weekend coming up. And like I said, be sure to check out Wild Horse Rescue Center. I know that you'll be able to learn quite a lot. And Patsy, thank you for tuning in there, dear, even though you're late to the ball game. Patsy's a friend of mine that she follows me everywhere I go. So appreciate you tuning in. And you'll be able to watch this later on the YouTube channel and also on Facebook as well. So have a great day, everyone. We're going to be out of here for the day.
Thank you.